Welcome to Mine and Cat's shop. I have been spending a lot of time here lately. I'm a bartender, and bars and restaurants have been closed in Oregon for the last 2 weeks and could possibly be closed the next few weeks as well. So I've been in this shop quite a bit lately, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. In fact, in a lot of ways, it's a good thing because I've been able to focus on a couple other of my hobbies, passions, projects, that kind of stuff. And that's why I'm in this shop. So today I'm gonna talk about this shop and talk about why Kat and I are renting this space, what we're using it for, what we intended to use it for, and give you a little quick tour of it. I have been thinking about getting some sort of shop space since I moved to Bend about 1.5 years ago. And it was sort of just something that was on the back of my mind, not something that was really pressing, but something that I was kind of thinking about, possibly hoping to do in the future. Kind of my thought process behind wanting to get a shop is that I wanted a space, kind of outside my vehicle where I could work on some of my creative endeavors. So photography, videography and editing, hobby woodworking, that's something I had explored a little bit, but wanted to really get into more. And then also future car camper builds, and so I was kind of looking for a space that would be multifunctional and would be able to serve all those purposes. Then in June, I happened to see this posting on Craigslist, so I sent the listing to Kat, and we both kind of pretty much immediately knew that we should at least go investigate a little bit and check it out. One, because it was pretty affordable. It was a pretty decent amount of space for the two of us, and it was in Sisters, Oregon. And during quarantine, Kat and I spent most of the time in Sisters, and we kind of just fell in love with it. It's a real small town, but we found some beautiful campsites out here that we just kind of got away, and we love the little town here. And so when we saw that it was in Sisters, we were like, yeah, we could definitely make that work. So we jumped on it and moved into this space end of June, beginning of July. So that kind of leads us into how we're actually using the shop space. Since July, the two of us have been coming 1 or 2 days a week. We both just, as soon as work started up again, we were kind of working full time, and I had 3 jobs over the summer, and so I didn't have a lot of time to come out here a lot. So we were coming about 1 day a week, working on various kind of little projects. Kat bought a camper. And so we've been kind of slowly chipping away at some of that. But since bars closed down again these last few weeks, I've been coming here 5+ days a week. So I've been spending the majority of my time editing videos. I'm now doing some freelance video editing work for the YouTube channel Tiny Home Tours. And then when I don't have any videos to edit, I've been spending the time kind of getting the shop space set up, building shop projects. You might have seen some of those videos. And kind of making this a more functional space, so that Kat and I can kind of use it for what we have intended to use it for. Kat is still working. Her job did not close down like mine did, so she's not able to come as much, but she has been coming out here about 3 or 4 days a week, and she's been spending her time editing podcasts. She edits podcasts, just a few. She's been working on kind of ramping that up and looking for new clients for editing podcasts. Like I mentioned before, she's been working on her camper build, and I've been helping her with that, but she's doing the majority of the work for that. And then finally, she's using the space to kind of gear up towards starting her own podcast, which she's hopefully going to be launching in the next couple months. It's going to be a podcast that deals with alternate lifestyles and living outside the norm, and the tentative name for it is Life Untamed. So look forward to that. I'm sure I'll talk more about it in future videos. So that's a quick rundown of how we got the shop, what we use the shop for, and now I want to just give you a quick tour of the shop. So we are going to start at the stairs. So those are the stairs to our shop. Our shop is underground, which is great because in the summer it was really cool, and now that it's the winter, it's really warm. We've got some radiant heat here too. So it keeps it a nice comfortable temperature for us, and it's been a nice kind of retreat from some of the cold temperatures already that have happened this fall/winter. All right, so over on this wall we have 2 refrigerators. That black one is a working refrigerator. It's a mini fridge that we just keep snacks, cold drinks, that kind of stuff. The one next to it is not currently working, but that came out of Kat's camper. She's not going to be using it. She has another refrigerator that is better for her situation. But I wasn't quite willing to get rid of it yet because it is a 3-way fridge, so it uses propane or 110 or 12 volts, and there's potential that I may use it, or maybe we could sell it in the future, something like that. And over on this side, we have the chop saw station. I made a video about that. Underneath, we have some dimensional lumber storage, and we have a few other pieces of Cat's Camper kind of stored over there that I believe we're gonna get rid of. I'm keeping them around to see if I need them or not. And then this here is a bench seat that is going to be going in Cat's Camper. It's completely finished. She finished it. We just need to install it. So yeah, moving on. So over on this wall, first thing that we did in this shop was I built this big workbench that goes all the way across, kind of a counter height workbench. It just has a ton of storage underneath and a big long surface until we filled it up pretty easily. And then more recently, I built this pegboard over here for kind of keeping stuff off the counter and out of the way. Yeah, so this is where the majority of our tools and hardware are. Underneath, we have things like paint. We have some more stuff that came out of Cat's Camper. There's a stove and a sink that we would possibly put to use eventually. And we have some boxes of things that are going to go into the Cat's Camper once we've got the whole build done. It's things like I don't know, blankets or something. Not sure. This is not the prettiest part of the shop, but I have a table saw here. It's not working at the moment. It was given to me by my dad, and it requires a few repairs that I will eventually get to, but just have not yet. And then we keep extra plywood and that kind of stuff over here for now. We're kind of working on a better, more permanent solution, but right now that works out just fine. Over on the far wall, we have kind of our computer workstation space. We've got a higher desk that we can kind of stand at or sit in our high stools. And then we have a lower table over on this side with chairs that have backs, so if we are getting tired of sitting in a stool, we can lean back there. This is where I spend the majority of my time editing videos. Right now I've got a video uploading. Kat is working on some podcast stuff. But yeah, this is not exactly the neatest space, but this is actually where we spend the majority of our time. And then over on this side, we have a bunch of boxes, and these are things that are gonna go into Cat's Camper. We have a mattress in that big one on the bottom. We've got a butcher block countertop for our kitchen area. Some struts for lifting up her bed. A whole bunch of good stuff that's going into Cat's Camper over there. All right, over here we have a little dog space. Got water bowls and just this blanket and these couple cushions from Cat's Camper that we lay out so that they have somewhere comfortable to sit while we're here. I have a bunch of equipment on this rolling rack here that's for a photo shoot that I have to do sometime very soon. And then moving over this way, then over here we have a little kitchenette. I don't even know if you can call it a kitchenette. It's basically like a sink and some counter space, and then some like drawer storage, some overhead cabinets. It's great. We can make our own coffee here. We got the mini fridge, obviously, and there's a kitchen upstairs in the main part of the building that we're also able to use. This most of the time has served as just like storage for stuff before we had the rest of the shop set up, but we're kind of keeping it clear now and kind of reserving it for like washing up and preparing food and that kind of stuff. This sink is quite deep. And the water comes out piping hot. So right now, while gyms are closed and thus we have no access to showers, we've been using this for rinsing off and keeping ourselves from smelling too bad. So that is kind of a quick tour of the shop. As of right now, Kat and I are still kind of both tied to this location as far as work goes. I'm still working at the bar, just waiting for it to reopen, and Kat is still working her job. But there is potential by like maybe the summer or something that we both could be location independent. But that being said, we still kind of plan to keep this shop and keep this space for a while, sort of as a home base, as a place to go where we can work on repairs for our vehicles or upgrades or other creative endeavors. So far, we're pretty happy with the space, especially now that both of us are kind of using it a little bit more and getting a little more out of it. We're really happy with what we're able to do with it. We fully expect this space to sort of evolve over time. It's definitely a work in progress, and it's progressing a little bit quicker now, but we're by no means done with setting up the space. So I look forward to seeing more videos that take place in the shop, more shop projects, shop updates. So thanks for watching. Hope you liked this video, and I will hopefully see you in another video soon.